Hey Virgo, welcome to your love download for the week. Virgo, I really hope all of you are doing well, and as always, I hope you're resonating with the messages on the channel. And if you are, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give this message a big thumbs up, and let's dive into your energies for the week. So we're gonna pull an overall message for your love energies for the week. What is going on with Virgo spirit? Virgo, what is going on with Virgo? Okay. You have the message of today. Ooh. This card says, be present now in the moment. Okay. So a lot of you could be living in the future. I find, and this is a total me thing, no one has to agree. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not whatever, but I find that Virgos, like there's certain, every sign I feel lives either in the past, the present, or the future, right? So for me, fire signs, a lot of fire signs, depending on their charts, live in the present. The Virgos or the earth signs, I feel lives in the future, in the present, like you flip-flop between both. And so for you, Virgo, I feel like you guys could be very much thinking future-based, really thinking about your future, really working on your future goals or whatever you want to obtain at this time, and really focus on a goal where you're not being present in today or you're not being present in the moment. And Spirit is bringing this message through of you're missing the sweetness, right? You're missing the goal hour. You're missing your moment in some way. And this could be you being, maybe you're in a relationship, Virgo, and you haven't been given a lot of energy or time to that person that you're with. Or maybe you're a single Virgo and you want to have a love in your life, but you're not giving a whole lot of energy towards it because you're focused on a future outcome or a future date or a future accomplishment in some way. Even if you're a Virgo who, let's say, who is in a relationship with someone and your goal is to be married or to have children or to move in together, whatever your situation is, it feels as though you could be neglecting your everyday moment with this person, right? So it's okay to want things. It's okay to, aspire to marriage or aspire to having a family or having, a happy home or whatever it is. However, the day-to-day nuggets, right? The day-to-day nuances is calling your attention this week. And so that's gonna mean different things to everyone watching. But let's pull some more cards. The goal this week, Virgo, is to be present in your situation. If you're single, be present in that. If you want love, be present in that. If you have a relationship, be present in that. Messages for Virgo. Let's pull some more cards. Clarify this message. What do you have to say to Virgo Spirit? Clarify this message. What do you have to say to Virgos? All right. Let's see. Oh, what did I say? Wedding rings. Union, wedding, married, soul connection, eternal love, everlasting promise. Oh, that's so beautiful. The chaser. Chaser in codependent relationship, fear of abandonment issue. Ooh, wee, Virgo. Okay. So I can see this multitude of ways. Let's try to go through this one by one. Okay, so the first message I felt is that for those of you who are in a relationship, you are with someone or you yourself, you have to apply the messages. This is general. So, apply it to your life. But you could be with someone who has a really big fear of abandonment, fear of being alone. And, when we are dealing with an energy like that, the ground that that relationship is built on is shaky. It has cracks in it, right? Because it's not coming from a healed hold place. It's coming from a broken place. So the person could be holding on to you, or you could be holding on to a relationship that is built on something that's shaky because the person or the relationship is rooted in fear. Bottom line, right? Rooted in fear, rooted in, I don't want to be alone. And so I'm going to stay in this relationship. I'm going to stay with this person because it's better than the alternative. It's better than being alone. It's better than searching for love again. It's better than being this age and being alone, or what does it mean to be dating again? All these other things that we come, our mind, the mind, oh, don't get me started on the mind. The mind plays ridiculous, harmful tricks when you are not fully aware of the spiritual side of things, right? And so you could be dealing with someone who has this fear, or you yourself, Virgo, could be dealing with this and not fully aware of it, right? Because we can call abandonment issues different things. We can call it like, I really have a strong attachment to this person, or we've been together for a really long time, or it's just something about them, all these things, oh my God, the energy shift in my ears just now. So spirit is definitely agreeing with this message. So I feel as though some of you, there's some truth that needs to be told to yourselves. So that's one scenario. Some of you are single, and you have the hopes of being a bride or a groom, or being married and committed in some way, but there's this fear of, what does that mean for me, right? So you could find yourself in a runner chaser situation where you leave the person, you're in a relationship, let's say, or you're dating, and you find yourself always sabotaging, or being with sabotage, a person who sabotages, a sabotager, I think that's what you call it. Being with someone who, or you being the person who has to be chased, or has to be almost like, you have to fight for me, that kind of energy. Or if they're not fighting for me, then I guess they don't want me. And sometimes, great, I know some of us have old-fashioned ways of thinking where a certain group chases another group, right? And great, fine. However, some of that is rooted in today's world. I'll say it's obsolete, like it doesn't exist anymore. And so it's almost like some of you have to realize that now that energy can be seen as a runner chaser situation. Most people shouldn't have to chase you to love you, right? You shouldn't have to be chased. You shouldn't have, of course, earn. Okay, there could be an earning thing there. It could be like, not giving in so easily, if that's what you want to say. But sometimes we run because we're the fear of commitment, or we're fearful of messing things up. Oh, I'm just gonna mess it up, or that relationships never work out for me in that way. And so I feel this energy of some introspection needs to happen this week, regardless of your situation. Some of you are on the path of being married because the message of the wedding ring came through. However, how fast you get there, how healthy the marriage will be, how healthy you'll be in the marriage, will depend on how much work you do on yourself now, in the present. And how much attention you give to yourself in the relationship. If you are a Virgo who's in a relationship, how much attention you give to the present moment within that relationship, if that makes sense. And for those of you who are single, healing the parts of yourself that feels this codependent energy, either from the people you deal with, or from yourself, is going to be imperative moving forward when you decide to put yourself back out there. If you are a Virgo who is dealing with someone where you have an attachment to that person and you can't figure out why, then I would say pause. If you are on the path to get married, or you are on the path to be engaged, whatever, it feels like spirit is saying pause, like take a break, take a second and figure out what's going on with you, and make sure that the relationship that you're trying to grow into or trying to maintain is built on solid ground and not on the person in the relationship being broken in some way and need to be have some fixing. Like almost like we take our cars to the body shop, we take our, we get our homes, whatever we got to do, work in our homes or whatever. It's the same thing with our spirits. It's the same thing with our body and our mind, right? And so a lot of you, I feel this energy of spirit saying, can you go within first? Can you figure out what's going on with you? What are your needs? And how is those needs based in fear and realism and healthiness, right? So let's pull some tarot, Virgo. Clarify this message for Virgo spirit. Clarify this message for Virgo. Okay, clarify this message for Virgos. All right, let's see. All right, so this card flew out. Temperance. Yep, there's some work that needs to be done. There's some healing, right? Temperance is about healing. It's about alchemy, right? Turning water into wine, right? Figuring out what's going on, within yourself. The Nine of Pentacles. I had a feeling this card was going to come out. A lot of you could be single or focus on your growth, your money growth, your potential, and whatever that means. Also, Spirit is saying maybe this is the path, right? Some of you are, even though there's an energy of marriage or the potential of marriage, some of you may be needing to be single at this time for whatever reason. Spirit is going to talk to you individually, okay? But what I feel is that this is the energy that you need to embody at this time for some reason, okay? The Nine of Wands. So you have the Nine of Pentacles, the Nine of Wands. The nines are about manifestation. So a lot of you are on like the precipice of manifesting something for yourself, okay? I can't ignore the two nines like that coming out like, next to each other. Justice. So you got some Libra energy. You got Sag here. This is your energy, Virgo or Earth sign. The Five of Swords. Yeah. Let me lay this out and then I'll go into... Lastly, you have the Six of Pentacles. So Virgo... It feels as though, let me see. All right, I want to make sure that everything is in view of the camera. It feels as though, I don't like this Five of Swords here. Some of you are, it feels as though, Virgo, that some of you could be in a relationship or single. It doesn't matter, apply it. With an energy of, there's this sabotaging energy here, okay? Maybe you are the person who deals with that energy, or you're dealing with a person who does that. However, at this time, it feels like a certain amount of wall is up, right? The Nine of Wands. It feels as though a lot of you haven't done a lot of the inner work, okay, required. Because it feels, this energy feels very avoidant. That's what it is. Okay, that's the word I was trying to get. It feels like avoidant, right? You have this energy of today coming out, being in the present moment, all that good stuff. It feels as though some of you are not dealing with some stuff in the present, right? So you could be focused on money, maybe focused on an unhealthy person, an unhealthy relationship. Maybe you're focused on maybe not even unhealthy parts of your life. You could be like a focus on the gym, focus on eating better or whatever. Those are all perfect, great things. However, if you're doing it to avoid the inner work, the foundational work that you need to do with yourself, then yes, it can be bad, right? Because the problems still wait, right? It doesn't. It's not like they dissipate, they evaporate. They just wait in the wings for when you're ready to deal with it. And so it feels as though a lot of you have put a wall up with love, with yourself, with your issues, with a person, and you're not really dealing with it. However, with the justice being in the middle, and I love this justice card, by the way, you see these two faces? That's very representative of what you're doing right now. So you could be wearing one face, right, when you're in that relationship, and then wearing a different face when you're not in a relationship. Or you could be feeling one way when you're single, and then when you get into a relationship, you transform almost into this different energy. Go with me, Virgo. And so I feel like Spirit is saying you're not spending enough time. Also, okay, so that's the message. A lot of you are not spending enough time with yourselves. You're not spending enough time with maybe the child in you, the vulnerable parts within yourself. A lot of you have built up walls around your heart. And so even if you are in a relationship and you're saying, I love you, do you really feel that deep? Do you feel that love deeply? Or is there more to the story, right? And I can keep this going, okay? There's a whole, there's a million examples that I can go into. And so I feel like you're robbing yourself of something. You're robbing yourself of real love, or you're robbing yourself of real authentic healing here, because the Five of Swords is here. And so I was trying to get a real good energy pull on this Five of Swords for you, and that's what I feel. This feels like you're robbing yourself of some really deep, good love because you're holding on to maybe an energy that's dead and gone, that doesn't serve you. Or you're robbing yourself by saying, you know what, I don't have time for love, or I don't have the capacity for it, and I'm avoiding it, or I don't want to deal with it, and I rather focus on other areas of my life right now because there's a fear with being committed, or a fear with being in love in some way. And so it feels like the law of reciprocity is coming in with the Six of Pentacles. And it says, this is about giving and taking, right? So this is not only about money, this is about energetically. And I feel like you are a giver, right? And so giving is awesome. However, if you are a giver and you're not receiving, then the imbalance is there, right? Temperance, and it's also about balance. So if you are giving out all the time, whether you're in a relationship and you give a lot to that relationship and you get nothing really back, or it's not matching your energy, then the relationship is imbalanced, and therefore there will always be issues, right? Because no one is getting their real needs met. It's almost like, and you're going to become resentful because I'm always giving and I'm always doing this for you and I'm always doing this for this person and I'm not really getting anything back, and you're making it the person's problem, right? And I remember a saying, and I hope it comes to me before this reading ends, that said, when you give to the point of like sacrificing, then you make the other person a thief, right? And I believe it was Iyanla Vanzant that said that. She's brilliant, by the way. But it feels as though you are making the other person the problem, where in turn you are the person who needs to do the work. You are the person that's robbing yourself of it. And so you could be in a commitment right now that's imbalanced, that needs to be looked at not through the lens of the relationship, but through the lens of yourself, of your soul, of your heart. And for those of you who are single, you're probably single because you feel like, well, I'm always in a relationship with people who don't give back, who don't do 50-50 of the work, or don't give me what I need. And it's because you're not requiring it. That's not a requirement on a deep level, right? Even though you argue about it, even though you say it to your friends, do you really show up and demand that? Is that a part of you that sacrifices yourself and in the hopes of keeping the individual happy, or making yourself feel like the mother archetype in the relationship? Maybe you are a mother archetype, meaning you in a relationship you always playing the nurturer, the mother, the person who's giving and giving. However, is I feel like a lot of you have issues with that. So if you don't have an issue with that, great. Then your relationships are perfect. It's great. It's wonderful, and that's not your issue. But for those of you who find yourself always giving and never receiving in the way that you want it, and that's an issue for you, then that needs to have a closer look, right? And so Spirit is saying that there's something about being in the now. It's something about being present to one's issues, to one's thoughts, to one's heart, to one's solid foundation. And some of you, this is about being single. Some of you, this is about putting yourself back out there, not being so defensive and not being so closed off. Some of you, this is about not robbing yourself of real love and not allowing a person to take care of you in a real, authentic way, right? So it's going to be different for all of you. However, I'm going to end it here. And those are your messages, Virgo. I really hope that you got something out of it. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you, gorgeous people, on the next one. Take care, Virgo. Bye.